What if the words you use every day and the thoughts you think, what if they're the most powerful tools you actually have? Today, we're going to dive into Adasa Munoz Rivera's The Alchemy of Words and Thoughts, a book with a pretty bold claim that we can transform our inner world to fundamentally reshape our entire outer reality. Okay, so this quote, it's basically the heart of the entire book. It's getting at the idea that our words aren't just sounds, right? They're actual forces. They can build us up or they can completely tear us down. The book argues that by mastering our language, both the stuff we say to ourselves and what we say to others, we get the power to consciously create the life we want. I mean, really think about that for a second. What if you weren't just a passenger in your own life, just along for the ride? This book really challenges us to see ourselves as the architects, with the power to design our own destiny. It's a huge shift from being a spectator to becoming the creator. So where in the world does this kind of architectural work even begin? Well, the book's answer is crystal clear. It all starts within. Before you can change your job or your relationships or your health, you have to start that journey into your own mind. And the author herself actually lived this. She grew up in what she describes as a really restrictive, dogmatic environment, but instead of letting that define her, she used that pressure as a kind of fertile ground for her own evolutionary transformation. It's just powerful proof that your inner world can always outgrow your outer one. So this brings us to the core concept of the whole book, evolutionary transformation. Now, this isn't some one-time lightning strike moment of insight or some kind of quick fix. No, it's a daily, conscious process. You can kind of think of it like weaving. You're blending practical, real-world tools with deeper spiritual insights to continuously evolve, day by day by day. Now, take a look at these two columns here. We all chase the highs, right? Those moments of joy and success. But the book argues that the real alchemy, the actual transformation, it happens in the lows. Those tough moments, they aren't failures. They're the raw materials, the fuel for our growth. Comfort keeps us the same, but it's the challenges that force us to evolve. Okay, so understanding the why is absolutely crucial. But it's not enough, is it? So how do we actually do it? Well, the book gives us a practical toolkit, moving us from just theory into real action. These are the tools you can start using literally today to begin building that new reality for yourself. The book focuses on 4 foundational tools, and they're probably simpler than you might think. We've got affirmations, which help you literally rewrite the negative stories we tell ourselves. There's visualization, to create a super clear blueprint of the future you want. Journaling, to untangle that complex web of thoughts in your head. And mindfulness, to bring all your power back to the only moment that actually exists, right now. Let's just zoom in on visualization for a second as an example. This isn't just wishful thinking. The book frames it as a mental rehearsal. You find a quiet space, you get crystal clear on your goal, and then you start building it in your mind. What does that success look like? What does it smell like? What does it sound like? And then, and here's the key, the final step, you feel the emotions of that success now, as if it's already yours. And right here, this is the secret that connects all of these tools together. Whether it's visualization or meditation, they all have one primary goal: to pull you deep into the present moment. So why is that so important? Because the past is just a memory and the future isn't even real yet. The now, this very moment, is the only place where you have any real power to choose, to act, and to create change. But this inner work isn't selfish. It doesn't just stay locked away inside your mind. The book's final and maybe most powerful idea is that when you transform yourself, you inevitably start to transform the world around you. Let's take a look at how that happens. This is what the book calls the ripple effect, and it's a perfect metaphor. Your personal growth is like the stone dropping into the water. That first ripple is you, the change within, but you can see how it has to expand, inevitably touching your relationships, your community, and everything beyond. And we can actually trace those ripples as they spread outward. As you become more centered and authentic, your relationships get healthier, more meaningful. As your relationships improve, you start to engage with your community in a much more positive way. And hey, when enough people are doing this, it creates a very real shift in the collective consciousness. It all starts with that single stone, you. All of this work, the inner journey, the tools, the ripples, it all leads to one ultimate question. See, the goal isn't just about feeling better, it's about doing better. The focus shifts from fixing yourself to expressing yourself. So the book asks you directly, what is your unique gift to the world? And the book leaves us with this final, beautiful image. It's a reminder that you don't need to look outside yourself for a map or a guide. You already hold the magical wand. You are the guiding star. The journey isn't about finding some power you don't have. It's about remembering you've had it all along.